I'm back from Ghana. Um, Back from Ghana, but still heavily repping. It's crazy because I chose Ghana out of all the different study abroad sites and whatnot. I could have went to Florence. I could have went to London. I could have went to Paris. I could have went to New Zealand or something like that. Something over there. But I chose Ghana because I wanted to choose my identity or something as close to my identity that I can get.
Let me see.
I expected it to be rewarding. I expected it to be fulfilling. But as I sat in the plane coming back, it was kind of more than what I thought it would be. Like it's more than what I could have dreamed about. Right? Like I got to be kind of encompassed by people that looked like me. It was a culture shock coming back and seeing so many different other peoples when I was used to seeing black people all the time. And it's just lovely that like I was able to experience that for like the first time in my life. Being surrounded by people that just looked like me. I traveled to 3 different countries while I was in Africa. I went to Ghana, and I went to South Africa, and I went to Nigeria. So 2 West African countries and South Africa. And this is my first time traveling. This is my first time booking flights for not only myself but other people, creating an itinerary and actually like carrying it out. Like it was nuts because not only was I kind of like going through this life-changing experience of being abroad for my family and my friends for 3 4 months, but I'm also learning crucial adulthood things, right? Like I'm having to deal with any repercussions I have to do, right? Like I booked the South Africa trip 1 week prior than we were supposed to go, messed up, had to pay that $200 change fee or whatever, right? And it's like little things like that. Like we booked the Airbnb, right? I booked it through my name. So I had to be responsible for anything that had to go down and stuff like that. And everything was successful when we came back, and it's just beautiful to look at and reflect on. I was immersed in the language, right? Like we were walking every day to class, and we'd see 4 or 3 security guards sitting around our compound, and I just practiced tree with them, right? And it was beautiful because they love to see me loving their culture, and it was very home like, right? Like we got to know these security guards. I got to go back and forth with them, learn different things like Yekwaba or Mekwaba, meaning like I've returned home. Right? That's something that I learned from the security guards coming back, stuff like that I got to use with my teachers and stuff like that. And my teachers' eyes light up because they're like, "Whoa, like where'd you learn that from?" And I'm like, I learned it from the guys on the way in the walk. So it's just like it's cool. Like I was immersed into the culture. I was there for months on end, right? So now it's like I feel like when I do like these type of travels, now I have to have some type of like lengthy, like it's not just vacation when I want to go to different places. Like I'm going to Trinidad soon, and it's not just about going there to go experience and take a vacation and go to the beach and stuff like that. Like no, I want to learn these cultures. Like I want to literally be inside. Pause. But I don't know. It's just it's been rich. I took their taxis. I had to wave it down. And the thing is too, like beforehand, I was very hesitant. Like you not scared, but you get hesitant and anxious about like waving down taxis and stuff like that. And they got this thing that they do. It's like, "Sss," right, and that's like the calling card, right? Like if like I was snapping at you, right? It's like, "Sss," right? So but coming from here, like you do that over here, it feels like a cat call. Like you're not supposed to really do that. So our group kind of felt a little bit weird, like handling down taxes and stuff like that in that way. But it's like after coming back from our spring break trip, which is like a halfway into our semester, I was not calling. I was barely calling Ubers and stuff like that if I didn't have to, right? Like I was just calling down a taxi and like handling down and being able to hold my ground with bargaining and whatnot. And that's like being accustomed to the culture and whatnot. Like I felt very accustomed when I came back to spring break. I was like it's like if I was going to the market, bro, I'm giving you my price, and it's gonna be that price, or it's gonna have to be a little bit lower or whatever. But it's just it was cool being able to be accustomed and like grow and learn to love a lot of the things that Ghana provides. I absorbed their nature, the landscapes, just driving around, like just driving to different spots, right? So we went to Tamale, right, which is like 12 hours upwards of Accra, where we were at in the bottom of Ghana. And then we went to Cape Coast, which is like 3 hours more, I guess, I don't even know, 3 hours aside from Accra, right? And even just like the drives and everything, like the landscape, the vegetation, and everything is just beautiful. It's literally just beautiful, and it's some of like some plants, some trees I've just never seen before, and how they grow into each other and whatnot. And I live in the Hudson Valley, so it's not like I'm like it's not like I live in the city. Well, I do live in the city, but it's not like I'm from the city, right? Like I'm used to a lot of vegetation and lively and trees and nature, but this is just on a different scale, on a different level. Me doing my videos and whatnot, like the love that I got from a lot of the Ghana people, like I just throw up like some testimonials, but the love that I got from Ghanaian people were just beautiful. Like they love me showing off their culture as well. Like and I think it's because like I don't do it in a very culture vulture way. Like I try to showcase a lot, and like even doing a documentary and stuff like that, like it's been so positive. All the feedback has been very positive, and it just makes me happy because it just lets me know that I'm on the right path when I try to approach these different things. And even like my teachers and stuff like that, like one of my professors literally just like subscribed today. Yeah, and it's just cool that like they're starting to see a lot of the things that I've been showcasing, or at least feel, right? Like I try to showcase how I feel in these videos about Ghana, and I think it's starting to be felt through my videos, and they get to internalize a lot of the things that I'm internalizing, because it's just normal to them, and for me it's not normal. I would be lying if I say that I felt so different coming back to the city, or coming back to New York. I've learned a lot, but I've also just experienced a lot and can appreciate a lot of things that Ghana, South Africa, and Nigeria had to offer. I think I've developed like a travel bug. Like I want to go everywhere. I already knew that like once I came back from Ghana and all the different places that I traveled to, that I have to hit Trinidad and I have to hit Puerto Rico, because it's just like it's just where my people come from, and it's important for me to learn that. But yeah, no, I don't feel that crazy different. I just feel very accomplished, and I felt accomplished beforehand, and I'm realizing that life is now like moving very fast, and I'm just kind of like having to get used to that pace of like I'll be here for 3 months and 4 months, but I'm not gonna be here no more, and I'm gonna do my internship for 3 or 4 months, and then I'm not gonna be doing my internship for the last 4 years I've been in college, and next year I'm graduating, and that's like how life has been moving recently, and I get to appreciate that I'm living very present, but I'm also like looking towards the future for a lot of different things, and I'm just very grateful.
I need a hat.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Didn't you just get a haircut?
You funny, right?
Nah, I'm not even joking. You look like you got a haircut. So, if y'all want to introduce yourselves.
I'm Nicole's Saadiq's mom.
King Jaffe Jofa to the second power carry the one.
Word. Okay, if we can just quick fire hot seat questions.
First impression of when you got there and you landed.
First impression, I expected it to be kind of like jarring, because everybody said like once you get to the airport, like everybody's gonna be hounding you and whatnot to try to like get money from you. But First experience was I got out off the plane. You could instantly feel that heat. Like you're somewhere different. Like it feels swampy as soon as you get off the air. I mean, off the flight. So that was my first impression. And once I got outside, you wasn't really getting swarmed like that. Like we went midday, and obviously like a bunch of like taxi services and stuff like that are gonna come up to you and ask you questions and whatnot, and ask you if you want to go somewhere. But yeah, we had somebody picking us up, so there was really not much to get, I guess, like scammed about or nothing.
What experience was like your best experience there? Your best moment, I would say.
I'm just gonna do Africa in general. I would say like my best moments was probably like touring South Africa, but it's just because it's just a beautiful place, and then also like we were kind of there. Like this wasn't like an NYU trip that was set up. This was like a trip that we planned. We created the itinerary and we booked everything. So I would definitely say that was probably like my best moment. It was like going zip lining and finding a driver and those drives and stuff like around. It was very like it felt very independent.
What was like your craziest moment there?
Craziest moment? We had an encounter with the police, and this was like outside the compound, and crazy moment because it's like you're not used to like guns. I'm not used to guns because I'm from the north in the states. So it's like when they popped out of the car, it was like four police officers got out the car, and they all had like just guns strapped to them. Like it looked like M14s, M16s coming out the car, and like it scared all of us a little bit, and we got searched and whatnot. But I would say like that's like the craziest moment. But
Why'd you get stopped?
we were playing music out loud with a speaker, so we were like attracting probably commotion.
Um, is there anything that you wish you would have done or you can take back that you did do over there? You're like, oh, I wish I didn't do that.
I wish I one like probably my biggest regret is like not going to the Volta region. So we went to the Tamale, we went to Cape Coast, we went to Shy Hills, but Volta is like one of the main regions as well. And I just heard like it's very green and there's like nice like scenery and whatnot and like rivers. So like a lot of like nice nature. And they said like if I spoke about like wanting to buy property there, and they said that Volta is probably one of like the best regions right now to buy property and like live. Like there's something like you would want to live out there. So I wish that I went to Volta.
And how is Nigeria?
It was like it was cool, but like security checkpoints even more, right? Like even like driving, oh my gosh, the traffic in Lagos is ridiculous. And it's like I don't know, we had one of the people that we went with had like an uncle, so we were kind of like protected by family, so it was way easier to navigate. But compared to like Ghana, it's just a little bit more I guess it's just a little bit more less controlled and calm. Like Ghana's very calm, but I would say like Lagos, where we were at in Nigeria, was pretty active.
Was there any times that your relationship was tested out there?
No, I felt like traveling when we were there. It was very nice. Like we kind of like experiencing everything together. So it wasn't like it wasn't really tested as much. And like of course like we're going to the club and whatnot, and there's a lot of like forward men, right? But at the same time, like there's a lot of forward men in New York, So it's the same type of situation that you're dealing with, and we appear to be together in most places that we go. So it's not like I have to worry about much or she has to worry about much.
So while you were there, what did you do at the internship and what type of internship did you have?
Okay, so I had a media internship, and that media internship, I was able to, me and the person that I did the internship was, we were able to like kind of like talk on one of the biggest radio shows in Ghana, YFM. So it was very cool that like we got to see kind of like behind the scenes of a radio station, and then also we worked for the parent media company, and which was really cool because then we could like write up different PR proposals and whatnot. So although I work on Wall Street, It was cool to get some experience within the media field and something especially on paper.
So, what was an oh shit moment that you had when you were over there?
And it was like Easter. It was Easter in Ghana, and by the way, like Ghana does their holidays very big, right? So like Easter's big. Anytime that they have a chance to celebrate, they're gonna celebrate and do it pretty big. So it's Easter. It's an all white party. I'm walking in to um, the entrance of the club, which is like the parking lot, and then you have to go back in there. And as I'm walking into the entrance, I see Shaka Bars, right? And I'm like, I know that Shaka, and I woke up. I'm like, hey, he's like, hey, I'm like, you Shaka Bars? He's like, yeah. I'm like, nice to meet you. Like, I like your videos, and we just dapped up. He's like, cool. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, Saadiq. I was like, cool, nice to meet you, and kept walking. And then as I'm walking in, we get into the club, and all the sections are already bought out. So we're just kind of like standing around, getting drinks and whatnot. We come over. As I'm walking to the bar, right? I look to the left and I see two bald headed guys. I'm like, there is no way Earn Your Leisure is right there. And I'm like, nah. I'm like, there's no way. And as I get a little bit closer, and mind you, all my friends is dancing right next to their section because there's no other place to dance, right? So as I get my drink and I come back over, I'm like, dang, that's EYL. And I would say like the oh shit moment part of that is that I was, as soon as I saw him, I was like, I'm going to plot a way to go talk to them. But they're in the club, so I'm like, I'm not about to be weird and just go into their section and be like, hey, I've been watching y'all since I was 16. So I waited until Troy went up to go take a picture of like the beach or something. I saw him get up. As soon as I saw him get up, I was like, I'll be right back to my friends. I walked around and I was like, what's good, Troy? I was like, he's like, what's up? I'm like, I've been watching y'all since I was 16, and I just want to say I appreciate the videos and whatnot. I'm invested, so I just want to say I appreciate y'all. And he's like, oh, cool, da, da, da. He asked me a couple questions. I was like, yeah. He's like, why are you out here? Because I'm like, I'm in Ghana, so it's kind of like weird. And I don't talk like I'm Ghanaian. So he was like, why are you out here? I'm like, I'm studying abroad, da da da. I'm a student here. And he's like, well, that's cool. I'm like, I would love to get y'all contact because I would definitely think that we could do something like further down because I do media and I do business. So I would definitely say like that's like the oh shit moment. Like the guys that I've been probably like watching since 16 and learned a lot of like my investment advice from and whatnot were in the same club that I was in Ghana, which is so weird. Yeah, and Shaka Bars too. Like I've been watching him for a while too.
How long did it take you to follow up?
I mean, well, he also introduced me to a media person within Ghana, right? So so I went back to dancing. Let me finish the story. I went back to dancing. After I was dancing, right, I just feel a tap on my shoulder. And he's like, hey, Troy. He comes up to me. He's like, hey, I want to introduce you to somebody. This is how we network and whatnot. He was like, this is somebody that does media within Ghana. So I followed up with the media guy. He didn't really follow up with me again, but that's how it be. So I don't really like take that to heart or whatnot. But after that, I was like, okay, when I do hit Troy again, because mind you, I have DM'd them a while ago asking to get into their EYL university, and I got in. So like I'm pretty calculated with how I do message out, and when I did message again yesterday, I had something to not ask for, but something to like propose. So that's why.
Propose? Propose like what?
You asking too much questions.
Shit, man, go for it.
Let us know.
Well, one, I asked about EYL tickets because they're doing a college, they're doing a college scholarship, and I was like, I understand this for HBCUs, but I could use a scholarship, especially to go to InvestFest. So I definitely think that I could be like a great kind of like middleman if they needed somebody to kind of like bridge to younger folks, especially because I've been investing since I was 16. So I've kind of like been in the market for 4 years, and I work on Wall Street. So I think it's a good bridge, but that'll come with time.
Yeah.
You're back in the States. What you gonna do now?
Okay, that's a good segue. That's a good
I
segue.
mean, it's pretty.
Okay, back in the
straightforward.
States,
You're
what I'm
welcome.
going to do now,
You know.
I have a new format to my videos. Saadiq ranks talking about like pop culture, politics, in like monologues and conversations format. So I definitely think it's cool because now I get to like tap back into a lot of like American culture, and that's kind of like my bread and butter. So I definitely think like I've learned a lot being in Ghana and learned a lot within my editing skills and whatnot. So I think that I could kind of like use this and transform it into some of the stuff that I kind of know very well, like business.
So what are you gonna do specifically this summer?
This summer I'll be working an internship on Wall Street in sales and trading.
I know you happy to be back home.
Very happy to be back home. I definitely think I've used up my time in Ghana very wisely. And I had a good mix of living and working. So
Good stuff, Deke. Good stuff.
all right, City Ranks. See you on the next one.
How'd we do?